him. Look at him. Uncle Cyrus is under doctor's orders not to get excited. Just look at him.
Come on, boot him! Boot him, come on! Give him his hand!
Well, he's excited.
Well, can't you stop him?
What do you suggest?
Well, I don't know. Do something. Talk to him.
Well, he's not a child, Sally.
Yes, he is.
Beat him up!
He's just a very old, wrinkled child.
Come on, come on! What's the matter with him? Come on, let him loose, let him loose! Hurry up with him, come on! Come on, come on, come on! Well, don't just stand there. Raquel Welch can get away with it, but you've got to say something. How is he?
He's fine.
Is it any wonder I have a heart condition?
Uncle Cyrus.
What was his time?
48-2.
No, that wasn't so hard, was it? You could have told me. After all, I'm the one that has to pay your astronomical salary.
Well, you could have, but you didn't ask. You asked how he was.
Yeah,
I told you. He's fine.
he'll win the Golden Gate Stakes on Friday? Well, now that's more like it.
Unless some other horse beats him.
You see what I'm up against, Mac? Now I'll get some straight answers. How's Bio-Nose, Willie?
Our horse is moving just great, Mr. McPhee. Come Friday, those other nags will be choking in his dust.
Cool him off for half an hour. We don't want him catching cold.
Just get him rubbed down. I'm taking him back to the ranch with me.
With the race, just 2 days off?
2 days is 2 days.
You mean 2 days is $20, don't you? Listen, I'll spring for it.
You think I'm going to be indebted to you for a lousy $20? Besides, it's closer to 50. Well?
Forget it.
That's what I thought. Talk is cheap.
If it weren't, you'd be a mute.
Don't you think all that traveling is bad for Bio-Nose? It can't be good for him, can it?
How bad can it be? I do it all the time. And Bio-Nose is a lot younger than I am.
The Grand Canyon's a lot younger than you are.
Yeah, well, I heard that. And it's not true, but it's thanks to you that I'm catching up.
Don't you really think it would be better for Bio-Nose to stay right here at the stables?
Oh, sure it would. For the stable.
It's only for a couple of days.
Yeah, but a couple of days here and a couple of days there, it all adds up. Too much up.
Uncle Cyrus, you can afford it.
Oh, now, Sally, look. I'm not even your real uncle. But let me talk to you like a Dutch uncle. You know, a man can go broke, spending money on what people think he can afford. Now, just remember that.
Yes, sir.
Pardon me a minute.
Those two are on the outs again.
Aren't they always?
I think it's shameful the way those brothers behave. They're all a family they got. I know if I had a brother, I'd be more than a sister to him. I'd be a friend.
You can
I mean-
say that.
What do you mean?
You don't have a brother.
Uncle Cyrus makes me so angry the way he won't spend a penny on himself. Sometimes I just don't understand it at all.
What's not to understand? Here's how you spell Cyrus. C-H-E-A-P.
No, he's not. Really, he's not.
There's nothing terrible about it. This is a democracy. A man can spend his money any way he likes. Cyrus likes to spend his money by not spending it.
Uncle Cyrus!
You all right?
Here.
Are you okay?
Well, I seem to be. Thanks to Willie here.
What happened?
Something spooked that horse.
Big Ben was born spooked. That's why his stall's always supposed to be kept latched.
Are you okay, sir?
Well, I'm still alive, no thanks to you.
I don't know how he got out. The stall was latched.
I guess he opened the door himself.
Somebody did.
I tell you, I closed it myself right after his workout. I swear I did.
Well, the important thing is that you're okay. You are okay, aren't you?
Oh, I just got the wind knocked out of me, that's all.
That's no easy trick. We better get you to a doctor.
I don't have to pay that kind of money to have someone tell me what I already know.
Uncle Cyrus, your heart, the shock.
Well, it's nothing compared to the shock of getting a doctor's bill. That my heart couldn't take.
Uncle Cyrus.
I'll take wild horses any day. Those money-crazy quacks, they pull out a sliver and simultaneously amputate your wallet. No, thank you. Oh.
What's wrong with your leg?
Oh, now, come on, Sally. I'm 70. I'm 69 years old. This is how old people walk.
You weren't limping 10 minutes ago.
I was younger then.
You should have it x-rayed.
Have you any idea what they're charging for x-rays nowadays? Okay, Mac. You're right.
Of course I'm right. But you still won't have it x-rayed.
Oh, you're right again.
That's quite a bad limp you got there, Cyrus. I hope they don't have to shoot you.
Uncle Cyrus, at least promise me that you won't be at the track on Friday. Coming on top of this, I don't even want to think of what the excitement of the Gold Cup race could do to you.
You expect me not to watch By-a-Nose win the biggest race in his career? That kind of advice would put me into an early grave.
I'm putting my foot down, Uncle Cyrus. If you insist on risking your life so foolishly, then I'm going to wash my hands of you.
Oh, now, but Sally, you gotta be fair.
No buts about it. Maybe your heart can take it, but mine can't.
You got yourself a very special filly there, Mac. I hope you know that.
Oh, I guess I do.
But I don't know what she sees in you.
We gotta go, Sally. Take care of yourself, Cyrus. Remember, you're an endangered species.
What do you mean?
Well, as far as I know, you might well be the last of the really cheap Scotsmen.
Take care of yourself, Uncle Cyrus.
All right, all right.
You better, or else. See you later.
Mr. McMillan?
What is it?
I just wanted you to know that I did put the latch on Big Ben's stall. I swear on my mother's grave, somebody else must have taken that latch off.
Any idea who?
No, I just know it wasn't me.
You could have forgotten.
Commissioner, I don't make that kind of mistake.
Well, if you don't make that kind of mistake, somebody did it on purpose.
It don't make no sense. I could lose my job, but who'd want my job?
Good question.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. You're invited to attend the free morning workouts held each morning at the north end of the grandstand from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. Morning workouts.
Oh, Commissioner, Mrs. McMillan.
Don't tell me Uncle
Hello.
Cyrus actually took my advice.
Well, he didn't have much choice in the matter.
How's that?
Well, when Willie pulled him away from Big Ben, why, Mr. McPhee must have twisted his ankle. It all swelled up like a pregnant mare these past couple of days.
Did you have it x-rayed?
You know, Mr. McPhee, he wouldn't pay a doctor to make a house call if he could find one. Now, the way I figure it, he'll wait for the veterinarian to make his routine call on By-a-Nose here, and when he's out there, he'll finagle some free medical attention for
Well,
himself.
I'll call him after the race and see how he's doing.
Say, I got a couple of bucks that's burning a hole in my pocket. What do you guys suggest I do with it?
You stick it right there, Mr. McMillan, and just watch it multiply.
You mean it's a sure thing?
About as sure as you can get, keeping it kosher.
Well, in that case, I think we ought to bet a bundle.
That's a good idea, Sally, except I think they deal only in cash.
Well, I've got $3.17. That means I can only make a $2 bet unless you round it out for me.
Oh, I think I might have 83 cents on me.
You're supposed to round it out to 20 bucks.
Good luck, you guys.
Right.
We'll meet you in the winner's circle.
Meet us.
Yes, Mr. McPhee has arranged for you and Mrs. McMillan to represent him. If By-a-Nose wins,
If By-a-Nose wins,
yes.
he's gonna win, right, Willie?
Right.
See you later.
In the winner's circle.
Right.
I'm parched. Is there time for me to get a drink of water?
Yeah, sure, but hurry up.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. The horses are now on the track for the feature race of the afternoon, the distance 1 mile and 1/16.
Sally. The whiplash is bad enough, but I draw the line at
I'm sorry,
strangulation.
Mac. If you'd lent me the $16.83, I would have won enough to buy that fabulous dress I was telling you about.
What happened to the fabulous dress you bought last week?
That's the one.
Oh.
I took it back. It was too expensive.
The horses are at the starting gate for the feature race of the day.
The first rule is that you never bet on borrowed money,
Not even on a 100% sure thing.
especially on a 100% sure thing.
The flag is up. There they go. Dragaway is going to the front. Judy's Baby is second. Super Summit is third. Fast Black is fourth. Bionos is fifth, followed by Lark's Baby. Around the clubhouse turn. It's Judy's Baby going to the front by half length. Versus Dragaway is second by 1 length. Super Summit is third. Fast Black is fourth. Lark's Baby is fifth, followed by Speedy Ted, Rick's Bay, and Dale's Top. Turning into the backstretch, it's Shagaway in front by 1 length. Judy's Baby is second by a length. Super Summit is third, and by a nose, moving up fast on the inside is fourth. Speedy Ted is fifth, followed by Debbie's Wonder and Rick's Bay. They're at the half-mile post. It's Judy's Baby in front. Super Summit is second. Bionos still moving up on the inside is third. Lark's Baby is fourth, followed by Speedy Ted and Debbie's Wonder. They're turning into the stretch. It's Judy's Baby, Super Summit, and Bionos on the inside. Lark's Baby is fourth, Speedy Ted and Debbie's Wonder. It's a driving finish. It's Super Summit and Bionos moving up on the inside of Judy's Baby. It's Super Summit and Bionos and Judy's Baby. A three-horse driving finish. It's going to be very close to the win as they come down to the finish. It's Bionos. Super Summit is second and Judy's Baby is third. And Bionos
Not as
is
excited as you're going to be in a minute.
In the winner's circle.
No, when you go to collect your winnings.
I've got it. My ticket. Oh, man.
I'll tell you what, Sally, I'll split my winnings with you.
That's sweet of you, but you don't have to.
Well, I think it's only fair. I mean, I don't think Bionos could have won without you. You rode a wonderful
Ladies and
race.
gentlemen, representing Mr. Cyrus McPhee of the Tam O'Shanter Stables today are Mr. and Mrs. Stuart McMillan.
Mrs. McMillan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Willie.
Thanks.
Hey, congratulations to the both of you.
You're right. I couldn't have done it without...
Enright, I want you to follow him to the hospital, find out what happened.
Right, Commissioner.
Mac? What is it? Heart attack?
I don't know, until they run the tests.
Shouldn't we call Uncle Cyrus and tell him that Bionos won?
Yeah, just tell him the good news, Sally. Don't tell him about Willie.
Well, why don't you use my office? It's just down the hall. I have to meet with the stewards.
Thank you.
It's disconnected.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know it doesn't.
Maybe you dialed incorrectly.
I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Mac, it is disconnected.
You sure you dialed the right number?
I'm positive. 555-9372.
Let's look in here.
I think.
It's not here. Try information.
All right.
Having a problem?
Sally can't remember your brother's telephone number.
Oh, it's been quite a while since I called him, but I think it's 555-9372.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
It's disconnected. Why would Cyrus do a thing like that?
The rate's gone up lately?
He's out there all by himself. Anything could happen to him.
That'll be the day.
Take it you and your brother don't get along too well.
Oh, you know how it is, Mac. Cyrus doesn't approve of me. He thinks I'm a libertine. But then he'd think anybody who drinks champagne when water's free a foolish spendthrift. Two different brothers, two different philosophies. I say live and let live. If you can call what Cyrus does living.
Mac, I'm really worried.
Well, let's drive out and see.
Okay.
See you, Angus.
Ciao.
Mac, I have this terrible premonition.
I'm sure there's some logical explanation for it. Maybe Angus is right. Maybe Uncle Cyrus decided it was too expensive to have a phone.
Everybody needs a phone.
Indians didn't. Maybe Uncle Cyrus decided to have a crack at smoke signals. We're almost there.
Cyrus. Mac!
Is he?
He's alive.
Better get him to the hospital. You okay, Sally?
I guess so. How much further is it, Mac?
Well, a few more miles. How is he?
I don't know. He's such a dear old man. You know, I can remember when I was a child, we used to spend our summer vacations on a ranch adjoining his. And I used to hear these dreadful stories about Mr. McPhee. He was my boogeyman. Till one day, he caught me climbing in his apple tree, and I thought I'd had it for sure. But instead, what's he do? He helps me down, he even packs a bag of apples for me. But he made me promise not to say how I got the apples. I think he liked everybody to think he was this wicked old monster. You old phony. When I first started to call him Uncle Cyrus, oh, he acted like he was very annoyed. I was only 7 years old, but I knew better. My first male conquest.
And all this time, I thought I was. Has he always been such a cheapskate?
Mac, he's a generous man.
Is Cyrus McPhee back there with you?
Mac, that's just a role that he plays. Like when he was playing the wicked ogre who owned the apple tree.
Come on, you've seen that house of his.
You've seen his stables.
What do you mean?
It means that Cyrus won't spend money on himself. But he loves bio-nos. That's why there isn't a horse anywhere that lives as well. And what about what he gave us for our wedding gift? That didn't come from the 5 and dime store. And he loves Willie Marshak. You know, Cyrus won't pay for a doctor to make a house call for himself. But I guarantee you that no matter what's wrong with Willie, he won't have to worry about paying for a hospital bill.
Who would have ever guessed that Cyrus McPhee is actually Santa Claus?
Well, I once knew a 7-year-old girl who knew it for a fact.
That's a handy little thing. Let me see that. You know, Mr. McPhee has one almost exactly like that.
It's his. He was holding it when we found him. He must have been listening to the race on it.
That means he must have heard about Willie's collapse.
On top of the excitement of Bionosa's victory. You know, Sal, this radio's expensive.
Yeah.
$75. No, too. It isn't the kind of thing that Cyrus would rush out and buy. Did you had a birthday lately?
No.
Who do you borrow it from?
He never borrows anything.
Well, he never lent anything either. Maybe it's a gift from a secret admirer.
A lady.
Wrong brother.
Doctor, how is he?
Sometimes we get lucky. It's a mild attack.
Thank goodness. Can we see him?
Oh, he's resting now.
You sure he's going to be okay?
He'll be fine. But I think you could stand a little rest.
Well, we've been so worried.
I knew there was no cause for alarm. Until my brother has a guarantee in writing from the good Lord himself that he can take it with him, he's not going.
When do you think we'll be able to visit him?
Call me tomorrow morning. Maybe you'll be able to help us convince Mr. McPhee to let us take care of him for a few days. I know how he feels about doctors.
Oh, don't take it personally, Doc. It's just that the thought of hospital bills makes his wallet break out in hives.
I wonder how Willie is. Whenever you want to find the news, you can't find it.
McMillan. Yeah, Enright. It's your favorite news commentator. What? Uh-huh. Okay, stand by. I'll get back to you.
What's going on?
Somebody tried to poison Willie Marshak.
Poisoned?
He'll be all right. They pumped his stomach.
Why would anybody want to do that? I said, why would anybody want to do that?
I think somebody is trying to kill your Uncle Cyrus.
By poisoning Willie?
Yeah, it's no secret that Cyrus has a bad heart. First, a horse almost runs him down, then his bad ankle prevents him from seeing the Gold Cup race, then somebody very kindly sends him a radio so he'll have to listen to the race. That radio may be evidence, Sally. Then on top of all that, they poison his jockey for good measure.
But if all that you're saying is true, why? Why don't they just kill him and get it over with? Why do they torture him like that? Who could be so cruel?
Somebody who doesn't want to be accused of murder, I think.
But it is murder.
An old man dies of a heart attack. You don't go and arrest somebody for sending him a radio.
It's the perfect murder, isn't it, Mac?
If Willie died, it wouldn't be.
You're right. But why would they risk it and murder Willie?
Because he figured he wouldn't be connected with it. Poisoning Willie is only one means to his end.
It's like we're moving through a nightmare.
Yeah, but whose? Operator, get me Sergeant Enright. Enright, I want a 24-hour watch on Cyrus McPhee. No phone calls, no newspapers, and no visitors. Anybody shows up, I want to know about it. If McPhee asks any questions, tell him it's doctor's orders. Right.
Who, Mac?
Who what? Well, who what?
We think someone may be trying to kill Cyrus McPhee.
Ah, why? As Police Inspector Gerard always says, first you have to know why. Once you have the motive, you know everything.
Inspector Gerard?
You know Inspector Gerard. He's the character from all those mystery books that Mildred's always reading.
Yes, as the inspector pointed out in the Rooster Crowed Murder.
I thought it was the Rooster Cried Wolf.
No, that was a sequel. The inspector says that people have only got 3 reasons for committing cold-blooded homicide. Revenge, greed, and jealous passion.
Is that what he says?
Not counting your hopped-up thrill killers, of course. So, What you have to do is find out why someone would want Mr. McPhee dead. And then you have your who.
Let's find the why.
Does the old man have a will? I mean, who gets the goodies? That's some place to start.
Cyrus always refused to make out a will.
There's another place to start.
Where?
With the people that knew Cyrus wouldn't be at the track today. One of them had to send him the radio. Who heard you lay the law down on him the other day?
Well, Sparks was there.
And Marshak.
Oh, Willie Marshak, the tall jockey? Well, I mean, he's sort of tall for a jockey.
Mac, Willie was poisoned. Besides, he and Uncle Cyrus are like father and son.
Sons have killed fathers before.
That's true. The son was the one in Paris bloodbath. He was in love with his stepmother.
Oh, good.
No, it was quite bad.
Who else was at the track on Wednesday?
That stable boy must have been there.
Oh, yeah, Price. And Angus.
Angus and Cyrus are brothers.
So were Cain and Abel.
And then there was that other jockey,
Mendoza.
Mendoza. He was standing next to Angus.
Where do we start?
I've been trying to find out who poisoned Willie Marshak.
Cheers.
Anything turn up about the radio?
Nothing, sir. But we checked McPhee's house and we found the package it came in. Whoever sent it must have wrapped it himself. That radio could have come from any of 500 local stores.
It was probably bought on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. Put a half a dozen men on it.
You want us to check 500 local stores?
Maybe we'll get lucky. You have pictures of all the suspects, haven't you? See if the stores can identify any of them. Anything on Marshak?
Well, he claims he never eats before a race.
Doesn't he drink anything either?
He claims he only drank water from a tap at home and then from a drinking fountain at the track.
Well, you don't get poisoned by drinking water from a faucet.
Water pollution is bad, but it hasn't come to that.
Mrs. Marshak?
Yes?
I'm Commissioner McMillan. This is Sergeant Enright. We were wondering if we could talk to your husband.
Well, he's resting right now, but I guess it'll be okay. Come on in.
Thank you. Have a fall?
Doesn't it figure?
I beg your pardon?
Life. It's just one big good news, bad news joke. You know, good news, bad. Well, you see, the good news is that your husband goes out and buys you a brand new powder blue new sedan. And the bad news is that you slip in the tub, break your arm, and won't be able to drive it for 2 months. Right? I'll be right back. Willie, what are you doing up?
I had to go to the bathroom.
Commissioner McMillan and Sergeant
Enright
would like to talk to you.
Commissioner.
How you feeling, Willie?
Well, under the circumstances, I gotta feel great. I'm still alive.
Willie, I don't think you should be up. Why don't we go?
No. I feel fine, dear brother. Come on, sit down.
Thank you.
Here.
Willie,
Yeah.
do you have any idea who poisoned you?
Not one, Commissioner. Maybe somebody dropped a bundle betting on me or against me. Other than that, your guess has got to be as good as mine. Better, maybe, because I don't even have a hunch about it.
Any idea how you were poisoned?
Thanks, dear. That's like I told Sergeant,
Enright?
at the hospital. I never eat on the morning of a race.
But you do drink.
Oh, sure. I had a glass of water at home. Then I had some water at the track.
From a drinking fountain? Excuse me, I was asking if it was from a drinking fountain.
From my thermos.
You never told me about any thermos.
I filled it myself.
With water?
Sure, with water. It's a habit, I guess, ever since I raced in Mexico. You know about the water there. I was out of action 9 days my first season, thanks to Montezuma's revenge. And after that, I started being a little more careful about what I drank. Anyway, once I recovered, I had a pretty good season, and I guess the thermos sort of became a superstition with me. You know, like a lucky rabbit's foot.
Until yesterday.
Eh.
Who has access to your thermos?
No one, me and Darlene.
We exchanged gifts. Willie gave me a new car, and I gave him poison.
Oh, knock it off, Darlene. No one's accusing you.
Well, then why don't you tell them that you keep your thermos in your locker and that he never bothers to lock his locker? Hmm? Anyone could have slipped you that poison. You know that. Why don't you tell them that instead of only me and Darlene?
That true, Willie?
I suppose.
Is your thermos in your locker now?
I guess so, but it just doesn't figure. I don't have any enemies.
One is all it takes.
Oh, cut it out, Sally. You make me feel like an invalid.
I'm just trying to make you comfortable.
Well, it's just having the opposite effect on me. When you keep fiddling with my pillows, you make me feel that I'm not long for this world. I swear that between you and those nurses, my chances of ever reaching the age of 40 are growing dimmer by the minute.
Oh, come on. You like all this feminine attention.
Don't make me laugh.
You rascal. I see you eyeing all those nurses.
Let me tell you, for what they're costing me, I'd need 4,000 eyes to get my money's worth. Believe me, I used to pay 50 cents for a lot more than I'm getting from those nurses.
Uncle Cyrus, I don't believe my ears.
Okay, so it was 75 cents. It was still a bargain.
Hi.
I don't.
How are you feeling?
Oh, at these prices, Mac, how do you think I'm feeling?
You up to a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Your transistor radio, Cyrus. Was that a gift?
Yeah.
Who sent it to you?
Oh, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Didn't you get a card?
No.
Okay. Why did you have your phone disconnected?
Why? Because they make you pay for it every month, even if you don't use it. That's why.
Uncle Cyrus, it only costs you a couple of dollars a month.
It adds up.
Why did you have your phone disconnected?
I already told you, Mac. Weren't you listening?
I heard you. I just don't believe you.
She treats me like an invalid, and now you're calling me a liar.
You've had that phone a very long time, and somehow every month you've managed to scrape together just enough money to pay the bill. Now, all of a sudden, you decide to have the phone disconnected, and I want to know why.
Okay. I took it out to get rid of a nuisance.
What sort of a nuisance?
Oh, some guy kept calling up and saying things.
You've been getting obscene phone calls?
Oh, they were obscene, all right. He kept predicting terrible things were going to happen to Bio-Nose.
Did you recognize the voice?
Oh, some perverted crank.
You're certain it was a man?
Certain as a... Look, that old I'm not.
All right, no more questions.
Cyrus, I'll see you in the morning. Take care.
Look, you take it easy here.
Yeah. At my age, Mac, I'll take it any way I can get it.
Strychnine. If Marshak had been any thirstier, he'd never be thirsty again.
Commissioner,
Mrs. Marshak?
I have to tell you something, and I didn't want Willie to overhear me on the phone, so I grabbed a cab.
Have a seat.
No, I haven't got time. I told Willie I was just running out to the supermarket.
What is it?
Yesterday, when Willie went to get his thermos, he found Abel Mendoza hanging around his locker.
Well, why didn't he tell us?
Well, I don't know, jockeys. They're all loony as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he practically accused me, his own wife, of trying to poison him. But heaven forbid he should cast suspicion on a fellow jockey.
Well, thank you for telling us.
Okay, I got a dash. His meter's running.
So is mine.
Commissioner, I think we should go and have a talk with Abel Mendoza.
Oh, he's aboard Miss Jill in the 5th race. My interest in the equestrian sport's purely academic. But, if you should find yourselves in the vicinity of the $2 window, would you mind putting that on Miss Jill to win? I like the odds.
Miss Jill to win.
Right. Oh, I almost forgot.
What?
While you're at the track, you should talk to that trainer, Howard Sparks.
Why?
Is that where you get your tips?
Oh, they were his fingerprints on the thermos.
Morning, Sparks.
Huh? Oh, hello, Commissioner. Any word on Willie?
He's okay.
He's already home.
I wonder if that kid will ever ride again.
No reason for him not to.
Well, you know that heart attack.
He didn't have a heart attack. He was poisoned.
No fooling?
No fooling.
Now, who'd want to go and do a thing like that to Willie?
Do you know anybody who might have a grudge against him?
Not that I know of. Of course, every man has his secrets, and I figured Willie has his, but everybody seemed to like him as far as I know.
What about you, Sparks?
Yeah, well, like I was just saying. What are you hinting at, Commissioner?
The poison was found in Willie's thermos, and we found your fingerprints on it.
My finger... Yeah, I guess maybe you would. I found his thermos lying on the floor of the locker room after they took him away in the ambulance. So I figured it fell out of Willie's locker, so I put it back. Hey! 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 Stop that horse! Stop him! Hold it down! Get that horse! Get him! Get him over here! What's the matter?
Hey, cut it out.
I'll cut your horse out. That's what I'll do. What are you trying to do? Kill that horse? I told you to bring him out here and breeze him, but with a tight hand. What are you trying to do, set the track record?
I took it easy until the home stretch. Willie Marshak told me to always ride by a nose full out when I came to the last quarter.
He told you that, did he? Yeah. Well, I happen to be the trainer. He's just hired help. Now, who you working for, me or...
Oh, you know better than that, Sparks. I'm not working for the bookies.
Oh, that's too bad.
What do you mean?
Well, according to you, you're not working for them, and according to me, you're not working for me anymore. So you better get a job, but not around horses, unless there happens to be an opening at the glue factory.
But Willie Marshak told me...
Look, just get out of the way.
Commissioner, you get the feeling they're all a little bit nutty around here?
Good morning, Angus.
Neat, isn't he?
Come on, let's go see Mendoza.
Mendoza's locker is 412.
Mendoza, you in here? McMillan.
Look, I gotta get rid of 2 pounds and a hangover by this afternoon.
Hard night?
Yeah. I got drunk and I pray that Willie's heart attack won't be fatal.
Why get drunk?
Sober, I don't believe in that stuff. Sober, I'm an atheist.
It's too hot in here. Come on outside. Willie didn't have a heart attack.
Then what?
He was poisoned. He's okay.
Who did it?
That's what we're trying to find out. I understand you were in here yesterday when Willie came in for his thermos.
Yeah, I was looking for my St. Christopher medal. I won't ride without it. It's not a religious thing. It's a habit. Promised my mother. Yeah, it was on the floor next to my locker.
Your locker near Willie's?
Right next to his. Who would do a lousy thing like that to Willie?
Would you have any reason to?
What have you been smoking, Commissioner? Look, Willie is my best friend. He's more than a friend. He's like a brother. Now, you think I'm going to get drunk and celebrate? No, it was sorrow. Because I thought my best buddy was lost. My sorrow now is that I drank so much.
Commissioner, your wife's on the phone.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's coming now, Sally. Okay, dear. Ciao. Can I get you a drink?
No, thank you. Hi. Oh, yeah? Well, that's fine. I'll be right over. Sally says Cyrus is feeling much better.
Good.
Angus, why did you say you hadn't phoned Cyrus lately?
What?
The other day when Sally was trying to reach him, you said you hadn't called him lately.
Oh, I hadn't.
But you had. Or at least you tried to. Why'd you lie about it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
His number isn't in here. It was, except you found out his phone was disconnected. So you removed his card from your Rolodex, being as meticulous as you are.
Is that a crime?
No. Being neat's not a crime. But attempted murder is.
So I tried calling my own brother. There. I confess. What, no handcuffs?
We think somebody is trying to kill your brother. Jokes and lies aren't going to help him. Or you, sir.
Okay, I tried calling him. No reason to lie about it. But I'd rather not discuss it. It's a family matter.
Sometimes so is murder. Why did you try to phone him?
We'd had another fight. I suppose I said a few things I shouldn't have. Called him a few names. Oh, he started it, but... Well, I guess I finished it. So I decided I'd call him up and apologize. At our age, fighting's not such a good idea. You can't be that sure you'll ever get a chance to make up.
So you found out his phone was disconnected. Do you have any idea why?
I'm not sure. At the time, I thought it was Si's way of getting me to drive out to apologize in person.
Did you?
My brother's not the only stubborn Scotsman in the world, you know.
I know.
All right, thanks very much for all your information.
What have you found out?
Sir, if money were a motive, we'd have a bumper crop of suspects.
For instance?
For instance, Howard Sparks. A few years ago, he tried to start his own stable. Blew his entire life savings and had to go back to training.
For instance?
For instance, Abel Mendoza. He's been on a losing streak lately. And with a wife, 4 kids, and assorted relatives to support, he's hurting. As for Price, he didn't have 2 nickels to rub together even before Sparks fired him. Which brings us to Angus McPhee.
Money trouble?
Mm-hmm. He's been living too high on too little for too long. His cash is nearly gone, and his credit is strictly...
That it?
Yes, sir, that's just about it. Except for what it's worth. Willie Marshak is also on the list of the ranks.
How can that be? Mendoza's the one with the losing streak. Marshak must be making $100,000 a year.
$112,000 last year, which is roughly what Mrs. Marshak spent at the department stores.
Very expensive tastes.
Even more expensive than the Internal Revenue Service, to whom Willie is in debt to the tune of $44,000. So you see, sir, if money is the motive, I really think we only have one suspect.
Who's that?
Angus McPhee. Sir, even without a will, as next of kin, he would inherit the entire estate. Correct, sir?
Sounds correct. Just doesn't feel correct.
Commissioner, you're not in your office.
No, I'm not.
That's right. I lifted the prints from the transistor radio.
What did you find?
3 sets.
3 sets?
Yes, Cyrus McPhee, Mrs. McMillan, and yours.
Some people can commit murders other people can't. I just don't believe Angus could kill anyone.
I didn't say Angus was guilty.
But you implied it.
I said he has the most obvious motive.
Well, then the motive just isn't that obvious.
Maybe.
No maybes about it, Mac. Angus is not a killer.
Since when are you so fond of Angus?
I'm not fond of Angus. I'm not fond of Phil Madison either, but that doesn't mean he goes around poisoning lamb chops.
Who is Phil Madison? And why would he go around poisoning lamb chops?
He wouldn't. That's my point. He's our butcher.
Oh, that's a relief. Now that I know our butcher isn't poisoning lamb chops, maybe I can get some sleep, if you'll let me.
Mac, Phil is a terrible butcher, but he's not a killer. It's the same with Angus. He's not the greatest brother, but he's not the type that could go out and commit fratricide. It's not his self-image. He's a lady killer. Not a killer. Well, since we know that Angus didn't do it, who could it be that's trying to kill Uncle Cyrus? And why? Well, it's a sure bet that I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. How about you? You rascal. I thought you were sleeping.
Hello.
Hello, Commissioner. This is the trainer, Howard Sparks, out the track.
Oh, good morning.
I just wanted to tell you that Mr. McPhee phoned me a little while ago. He says he's coming out to the track right away to pick up By-N-O's. He plans to take him back to the ranch with him.
The old fool.
Well, I just wanted you to know what that old coot was up to. He was bragging to me about how he snuck out on a fire escape. You know, I think this old guy is getting senile.
I'll be out there as soon as I can. If Cyrus gets there first, try to stall him.
I will, but there's something that I gotta tell you.
What is it?
Well, it'll hold until you get out here to the track.
I'm on my way. Public nuisance #1 is just busted out.
Uncle Cyrus! Uncle Cyrus! I know you're here. Where are you? Mac! Mac!
Commissioner.
Mac, we didn't know what had happened to you.
Just an early morning workout.
Somebody bashed Sparks over the head.
I know.
Look, I told you it wasn't me. It was like that when I found him.
You always run when you see a man unconscious?
I explained to you. I was afraid.
Are we booking him?
Not yet.
You mean I can go?
Yes, you can go.
We found this in the stall, Commissioner.
Check it for prints.
Mac, what do you think happened to Uncle Cyrus? He should have been here by now.
He's not here yet?
No.
Put out an APB on McPhee and put a tail on Mendoza.
Yes, sir. I want to see if I have an accurate description of Cyrus. 5 foot 10 inches, 170 pounds, blue eyes, sandy hair, 72 years old. Is that right?
I don't think Uncle Cyrus is that tall, do you?
Well, he's that tall, but not that old.
Uncle Cyrus, where have you been? We've been so worried.
What do you mean, where have I been?
You left the hospital hours ago.
I did?
Where have you been all this time?
Let me tell you something, Commissioner, and you're free to pass it on to your friend the mayor. The bus service in this town is just plain lousy.
You took a bus?
I took several.
Why didn't you take a cab?
Oh,
Well, that was a silly question.
Enright, see if you can get me the names of everybody that was in this area this morning.
Yes, sir.
what happened? I saw an ambulance pulling out. Oh, bad news, huh? Well, you can tell me. So long as I'm prepared for it, I can take it.
Someone bashed Sparks over the head.
We think it might have been Abel Mendoza. He was behaving kind of suspiciously.
Well, he's kind of a nervous fella. You know, thoroughbreds are that way. 1,200 pounds of sheer force, and I've seen them spooked half out of their minds by a 2-ounce mouse. Now,
Commissioner.
excuse me, I gotta get going.
Going where?
Well, I'm taking Bio-Nose home with me.
Well, if by home you mean the hospital, then...
I mean the Tam O'Shanter.
No, you're not.
Oh, now, Sally, don't argue with a sick old man. The strain is bad on my heart.
What happened to the guy who could take it? He was here just a minute ago.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get my horse.
Did you ever hear of a mule owning a horse? He's gonna kill himself.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. We just want to be certain he doesn't have anybody to help him along.
You're right.
I'm going to station someone at his ranch.
Oh, you think Uncle Cyrus is gonna put up with that?
No, that's why we're not going to tell him.
Oh.
Commissioner? From what I could find out, this is a complete list. Of course, somebody may have snuck in.
Is Angus still here?
I believe so.
We'll talk to him first. I want you to station someone at the Tam O'Shanter. Make sure he keeps out of sight, but to keep Cyrus McPhee under constant surveillance.
Yes, sir.
How are you gonna get Bio-Nose there? On the bus?
Well, I've rented a car and trailer. Now I suppose I'll have to hire a driver.
Oh, I'll drive you.
You can't pull a trailer, Sally.
Oh, yes, I can.
No, you can't. You take him in his car. I'll see that the horse gets there.
I hope you're not one of those crazy hot rodders.
Hot rodders? How old did you say you were?
Smart guy, huh? Now, look, I don't like going faster. Can you keep it under 40?
What does it matter? I've got the most reasonable rates in town.
Well, in that case,
If you take a pill, you'll sleep the whole way.
only if you promise to keep it under 40.
She promises. She promises.
That's some pushy kid you're married to.
I'll see you when I get home.
Okay, drive carefully. Remember, you're transporting the last of the big spenders.
Okay. Come on, Bio-Nose.
Don't waste it, Commissioner. Inhale.
I don't smoke.
You don't know what you're missing.
Tell me, do you make it a rule to come in on Sunday?
No, I don't. I got behind some paperwork and had some catching up to do. I take it that question wasn't asked out of idle curiosity.
No. Howard Sparks was attacked this morning. Can you account for your movements the past hour or so?
I haven't any movements to account for, Commissioner. I've been here in my office since about 7:30. Was Sparks badly injured?
Don't know yet. Sounds we're at the hospital. Was Willie Marshak in here this morning?
I don't think so. That Rolls Royce of his is hard to miss. Hello? Willie. Speak of the devil. The commissioner was just asking about you. Tell me, how are you feeling? Oh, that's good. No, I'm afraid you can't. No, I just heard he was attacked this morning and he's in the hospital. They don't know. Okay, Willie. Ciao. That was Marshak. Wanted to let me know he'd be able to ride next week. You know, Commissioner, it's beginning to look like Bio-Nose as a jinx. First it's his owner, then his jockey, now it's his trainer.
Do you have any idea who might have attacked Sparks?
Well, if I had to guess, my numero uno suspect would be Abel Mendoza.
Why him?
Well, he used to be Cyrus's regular jockey. It was Sparks who first suggested to him that he replace Mendoza with Willie Marshak.
We may want to talk to you later, Angus, so stick around.
Oh, I'm always around, Commissioner.
You are at that.
Uncle Cyrus, did you take your pill yet?
After paying $2 for it, do you think I wouldn't?
Well, then why aren't you asleep?
Because obviously it wasn't worth $2.
Uncle Cyrus, we're here.
Huh? Already? Oh, there's nothing like having a nice nap, is there?
Nope, you're right. I could use one myself.
No, I don't understand.
What did they say
I mean,
happened?
there must have been something you could have done.
And you? Are you all right?
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
He slept through the whole thing?
Of course, I'll tell him right away.
All right. It's a little late, but take care. Bye.
Commissioner, that was the hospital. Sparks died in the ambulance. He never even regained consciousness. Is there something the matter with Mrs. McMillan?
Uh-huh. Her car went out of control. Somebody drained the brake fluid. Our killer's game plan has changed. It's no longer murder by indirection.
You know, sir, it seems to me he's under some sort of pressure.
Hmm.
Maybe some kind of time element. Who are we going to arrest?
Who do you suggest?
Well, you could drive a truck through any of their alibis. Angus McPhee claims he was in his office. He can't verify that.
And Mendoza claims he just happened to be on the scene of the murder. Very flimsy alibis.
Yes, sir. Which one is the guilty party? Frankly, I think McPhee's alibi is the weakest.
I don't think either of them is the man we want.
Well, why not?
Because of the weakness of their alibis. I mean, how often can you prove where you've been? Innocent people don't go around establishing foolproof alibis. But I can guarantee you almost that our killer has gone to a lot of trouble to create a foolproof alibi.
Well, I guess you're right.
Let's go see Sykes. Sykes,
Oh, hello, Commissioner.
don't poison yourself.
Oh, that's quite all right. I poured it myself.
What can you tell us about the murder weapon?
Well, sir, murder weapon? It's a hammer. Might as well still be part of a tree. It's clean.
Well, that figures.
It's your ordinary hammer. Nothing unusual about it. Killer could have picked it up anywhere. Would you like some more coffee?
No, thank you. Sykes, what were you saying yesterday about poison being in the thermos?
It's definitely strychnine.
No, you said something about Marshak drinking.
Oh, yeah. I said that if Marshak had been thirstier, He'd never be thirsty
again. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it.
You know, Commissioner, I'll tell you something. He's mighty lucky he took only one swig.
Where are you off to, Commissioner?
Check the Marshak's new car.
Check? For what?
Well, with Darlene's arm broken, I'm pretty sure she hasn't driven it. New car has 8, 9, maybe 10 miles on the speedometer. If the new car has more, Willie's going to have an awful lot of explaining to do.
You suspect Willie Marshak? Well, why? Didn't somebody try to poison him?
If you try to poison someone with strychnine, you're going to succeed. It's my hunch Willie took it himself. Just enough so we'd discover it in his system.
You're guessing now, aren't you?
Not entirely. He phoned Angus this morning in his office, remember? Mm-hmm. Unless he'd already been to the track and seen Angus in his office, how would he know he was there? Angus never comes in on Sunday. The other day, he was talking to Cyrus. He referred to Bio-Nose as our horse. And where does he get off telling Price how to exercise our horse, unless he held a proprietary interest?
Sounds good. I think that I should come with you, Commissioner.
No. I want you to check with the post office. Find out if anybody answering Willie's description mailed a package the size of the radio Wednesday afternoon or at the latest Thursday morning.
There are an awful lot of branches.
There's a time limit on the ball. Remember, it had to be delivered by Friday morning.
Main branch.
Right. Miles.
What am I supposed to tell you? You tell me that Willie drove my new car. So big deal. He bought it. I guess it's no crime if he wants to drive it.
How could he afford to buy it? He owes the government over 40 grand.
That's the least of it.
Who else does he owe?
Oh, I could bite my tongue.
Later, who else does he owe?
Bookmakers. He dropped a bundle.
Who are they?
I don't know. He doesn't tell me anything. I heard him on the phone last week. He sounded desperate. He was guaranteeing some guy that he'd have the money for him very soon. Now, I don't know where he expected to get it. I offered to sell the car and hock some jewels, but Willie wouldn't let me. Would have bruised his pride. Pride makes him 10 feet tall. In his eyes, anyway, and I guess that's where it counts.
Where's Willie now?
I think he said he was going out to the Tam O'Shanter stables.
Why?
Well, he was going to ask Mr. McPhee if he could have the horse now instead of waiting till the old man dies.
He inherits Bio-Nose?
Sure. Mr. McPhee knows that Willie loves that horse as much as he does. That's why he wrote him out a paper a couple of weeks ago, stating that if anything happened to him, Willie gets Bio-Nose. But Willie needs him now.
Give me Sergeant Enright. Enright, put out an APB on Willie Marshak. And meet me at the McPhee Ranch.
That was fine. Thanks, Sally.
You're welcome.
How is by your nose?
I just put him in his stall. Now scoot down. Come on. He's resting comfortably. He's going to be just fine.
Sure he is. I'll bet you didn't fiddle with his pillows.
You're terrible. I should have known better than to get involved with a stubborn Scotsman. After all, I'm already married to one. Now, I'm bringing Mildred out here tomorrow to take proper care of you.
Who's Mildred?
She's our housekeeper.
What does she charge?
What do you care? We pay her.
Well, in that case...
Well, in that case, she's got great legs. You're going to love her.
Well...
Now, I want you to get some rest. God knows you're more trouble than you're worth, but you're so doggone cute.
Yes, I am, aren't I? Sally.
Yes?
Thank you.
For what?
For trying to steal an old man's apples.
Okay, let's go. Booking.
Around the far turn, it's total recall. On the inside in front, by ahead, by a nose, challenging for the lead. On the inside is second. Little Peter is third, followed by Tiger's Ragadina. They're turning into the stretch. It's total recall. In front, by a nose, challenging for the lead. It's total recall. And by a nose is in head. Total recall and by a nose. As they come down to the line of finish, it's by a nose. Getting a point in by a nose with jockey Abel Mendoza aboard.
What are you doing?
Oh, that's not mine. Sykes asked me to bet $2 on Total Recall. This is mine.
You know, I can't help thinking how all of this could have been avoided if only Willie had understood people as well as he understands horses.
How do you mean?
Uncle Cyrus loved Willie. He would have given him the money if he'd only asked. You know, I already told you Uncle Cyrus is only cheap when it comes to himself.
And even that's changed. He's had his phone put back in. And he even plans to remodel that chicken coop he calls home, or so he says.
You're kidding. That must be Mildred's influence.
No doubt. Mildred's very good with other people's money.
We better call Uncle Cyrus and tell him Abaya knows one.
Good idea. And while we're at it, let's test his New Year's resolution.
What do you mean?
Let's try reversing the charges.
Are you sure the commissioner's going to meet us at the plane on time, Mrs. McMillan?
Don't worry, Mildred. He'll be there. Well, Sergeant, you can still change your mind and take your vacation with us.
Scotland's special to the commissioner, Mrs. McMillan. But the beach is better at Acapulco.
If you like one beautiful day after another.
This is Commissioner McMillan. Police Unit Y33, heading west on Kane in pursuit of Levinson in a tan sedan. License number 907, Oscar Lima Kilo.
This is Police Unit Y29, responding as backup pursuit.
Hope he's careful.
He better be. He has the tickets.
Book him. I have to be at the airport in 15 minutes.
Oh, this is just beautiful country.
Yeah, it sure is. I spent every summer here when I was a kid.
You know, I've never met a Laird. What do I call your uncle? Laird McMillan?
I'm sure he'll want you to call him Uncle Mike.
Listen, we've been driving around this lake for an hour.
Lock.
All right, Lock.
Small but rugged. Half a mile across, 100 around, they say.
What are they looking for?
Oh, the Lochmoran monster.
Monster?
Mm-hmm. He's seen mostly in the gloaming. That means twilight. By people who spend an hour or two in the pub.
Yeah, that means bar. That's right, uh-huh. Well, I wouldn't mind drinking for a good cause. Wonder if the scotch is any good here.
Ah, here we are.
ought to be a princess locked up in there.
It's a watchtower. Uncle Michael's probably up there right now, doing his accounts. Uncle Michael! Uncle Michael!
Uncle Michael! Oh, he's inside. You'll be Stuart, his nephew. He's expecting your rifle.
Is there a key? There's no key. It's bolted inside.
I remember a window.
An arch is slit only 4 inches wide.
And 60 feet up. We'd best break down the door. Excuse me, sir. That does it.
Old man, why did you do that?
Uncle Michael,
Why?
I don't understand.
Why?
He asked me to meet him here.
Oh.
I'm his solicitor, his attorney. 3:15, he said.
Why?
Now, why would he make an appointment if he was planning to do it?
Why?
I'll get the doors in.
There was a man. I suppose I've been saying that for the last hour. I share your sorrow.
Desmond! Desmond! We just heard about it.
Mr. McMillan, this
Hello,
is
Jimmy.
Mac,
Sorry.
it's been a long time.
Certainly has.
This is my fiancée, Nell Barry. Is it true? Did he kill himself?
He was found alone with a gun in the tower room. The bullet matches the gun, and the powder burns are what they seem. In any case, you'll be free now, Jamie, to sell the castle.
If he sells.
Oh, he'll sell, lassie. Your fiancé looks like a McMillan, and the law makes him the new laird. But he has not a Scotsman's taste for the hard work.
Desmond, that was quite uncalled for.
He's right, though, you know, Nell. If I were English, I would be known as a wealthy eccentric. But we Scots, we don't have wealthy eccentrics. We just have ne'er-do-wells.
What do you do now, Jamie?
Well, at the moment, Nell and I are on the committee for the Heelan Games. In fact, we are the committee.
Ooh, there's a job for you now. 3 light days of duty every other year. Between times, he sells souvenir programs at Coronation.
Yeah, you do have the light touch there, Desmond. Well, you seem to have things well in hand, and, we have business. The games will go on, of course.
Of course.
Grandfather would have wanted it that way.
Jamie, do you think your grandfather would be the sort of man who would kill himself?
Well, he wasn't the sort.
No, he wasn't.
But what about all the evidence?
What about the evidence that he wasn't the sort?
I'd like to think that he didn't. I was a great disappointment to him. But I really loved that old man.
Mac, do you think the shot could have come from there?
It's the Crofter's cottage, too far away.
It's direct line of vision.
Couldn't be the lawn. We'd have seen it from the driveway. Couldn't be the gully. It's an impossible angle.
Well, according to Mr. Ramsey, the McCready ghost is our prime suspect.
McCready ghost. Glad Mr. Ramsey isn't staying for dinner. I'd sure hate to hear that dull story again.
he is staying for dinner.
Well, he said it was a great story. Of course, he did say it was better on a dark and stormy night.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
Mr. Ramsey's going to tell us some castle ghost stories.
A monster in the lake and a ghost in the castle, some vacation.
In the war against the Sacconing, the English, Castle Kinross was the headquarters for two clans, the McMillan and the McCready. The laird of the castle was the great Ian McMillan, and 4 of its 5 lieutenants were McMillans. The 5th one being Fergus McCready, referred to by some as Fergus the Infamous. Oh, no need for alarm, only a lying down. The authorities will restore power presently.
What is presently?
Somewhere between 2 minutes and a week.
Oh, it sounds like home.
On the eve of the Battle of Kinross, Ian and his chieftains galloped over to the castle in order to hide the McMillan treasure. Having done so, they were returning to the battlefield when suddenly Ian noticed that he had but 4 companions.
Fergus.
Aye, indeed. Returning to the castle, they found Fergus hidden in an alcove within the castle walls. If it's walls you love more than honor, raged Ian, then its walls ye shall have. And he and his men began to seal Fergus up into the alcove. As the last heavy stone was emplaced, Fergus rose up and hurled forth his terrible curse. I shall not die. McMillan walls will not outlast McCready vengeance. And when I break free, woe to the McMillan laird, whoever he be then, for his life shall be forfeit, and so shall the lives of all his kinsfolk, even to their wives and servants. Ian and his chieftains were killed by the Sassenach, and the castle was ransacked. And a feud began between the 2 clans that has lasted for several centuries. Legends die hard in the healing. We see. If I might have a wee drop more of the port. Oh, Mrs. McTaggart, would you be so kind as to fetch my coat? As for myself, I neither believe in ghosts nor blood feuds, or I'd never have been attorney to the McMillan laird.
You're a McCready?
Aye. Full-blooded. My grandfather died at 90, and it was his proudest boast that he'd ever spoken to a McMillan. Of course, that's pure Hieland superstition. But still, in my grandfather's honor, and to a spirit free at last, up the McCready. A magnificent dinner, I thank you kindly. Good night, McMillan.
I'm not nervous.
I'm glad you told me. Ready for bed?
Anytime. Mac, look. I thought this was your Uncle Michael's blood, but look, there's a nick on Bobby's ear. Mac, do you think there was somebody in the room? Do you think he was trying to defend his master, and when he did, do you think there's a connection?
Not quite. A man with a knife kills my uncle, nicks the dog's ear, then cuts himself into 4-inch strips and throws himself out through an archer's slit that wide. Go back to the ghost in the wall or the monster in the lake. Or better yet, come to bed.
Oh, I couldn't sleep with all this going on.
That's right.
What is it?
The lights have gone out again.
It's a storm, Mildred.
Now, but listen, there's something in the walls. Listen. Well, it stopped, but I heard scraping, like somebody clawing, but from inside the
You
wall.
heard a ghost story as a horror suggestion.
You heard a ghost story. I heard scraping.
All right, all right. We'll find the noise or the bar.
I'll settle.
You want to go too?
What do you think? The bar's in the great hall. I am. Be quiet. Coming! It's ice cold.
Mildred.
Now, I'm partial deaf, you know, but not so deaf as to sleep through this sort of larking about. Oh, out the window. What's that?
Somebody running.
Enright! Where's that? Well, come on in.
Here! Over the drain!
Drain?
Oh, were you expecting this gentleman?
I was just ringing the doorbell.
No, you weren't. The power's off.
Huh?
Did you see anybody out there?
No, sir, I was looking in, not out.
What are you doing here?
Well, it all started out as a joke.
A joke?
Yeah, well, suddenly it doesn't seem very funny. You see, I never really planned to go to Acapulco. I was always planning to come here and stay with you.
Well, why didn't you?
Well, I thought it'd be very funny if I took a later plane. And that way, you'd be so surprised to see me that you'd be glad to see me.
Well, we're always glad to see you, Sergeant.
Thank you, Mrs. McMillan.
We asked you to come along with us in the first place.
Thank you, too, sir. It's just wonderful being here.
How did you get here? I didn't hear a car.
Well, I rented one at the airport. Well, I was driving on the wrong side and someone ran me up a ditch off the road.
Well, you're here safely now. I bet you're hungry.
The kitchen is closed. Yeah, but the bar's still open.
Mildred.
I suppose you'll be wanting a room. You can have your choice with or without a ghost. Your breakfast is at 8 o'clock. Oh, come on.
What a rules.
Come on, Sergeant.
Glad you're here, Charlie.
It was a great surprise. We'll send a sandwich up for you.
Thank you. My car is really in a ditch. I can't... Well, now, top of the morning to you.
And the rest of the day.
Morning, Sergeant.
What's that?
Forage.
Oatmeal.
Ugh.
It's traditional, according to Mrs. McTaggart.
Fried eggs and bacon all round. 3 pairs straight up, strips on the side. I mean, who can eat this stuff, right? I beg your pardon. Never mind, I'll take care of it. I thought this was an English-speaking country.
We do have a language barrier, though.
Hmm?
The dog. Bobby, he saw it all, and I'm sure he would tell us if he could. Now, come on, Bobby. You were in the room. Who did it? Who did it?
Hello. I'm sorry. You'll be visitors. I'm Duncan, the gamekeeper, as my father was 40 years before me. At least it was until I gave my notice last week.
I'm Stuart McMillan.
Aye. You're the nephew, then.
That's right.
Aye, you're blood kin. You've a right to the fish in the streams and the birds of the gorse.
This is Mrs. McMillan. Charles Enright.
Yeah, I just stopped by with some fish for the laird.
The laird's dead.
Dead?
Shot himself. According to the local police.
Well, why would he? Oh, he was old, sure, but sound of wind and limb.
Indeed he was.
I know it hurt the old man to think his castle couldn't even afford a gamekeeper. But why would he do it? He believed in life. A gamekeeper knows.
You see, the games consist of the traditional field events, plus a couple of Scottish goodies like tossing the caber.
And sword dancing and the Highland fling.
And the piping contest. Don't forget the piping contest now.
That sounds like a big job.
Oh, it
When
is.
does it start?
Well, day after tomorrow, and it's very big. I tell you, Nell and I, we were up until midnight trying to get the thing straightened out. Hey, Thomas, tell me.
Did you get caught in the rainstorm?
Oh, no, Nell did. We were working at my place. Thomas, is that platform all right?
I'll need more than a platform to win, so seeing that Duncan's entered.
Duncan? The ex-gamekeeper?
Aye.
Oh, Duncan's a fine piper. He's won the past 5 contests in a row. Tell me, why'd you call him the ex-gamekeeper?
Well, he quit a few days ago. I thought you knew.
Well, no, nobody told me that.
Oh.
You know, the stakes aren't holding very well. Did it rain last night?
What?
Well, of course it rained last night. Don't you
I
remember?
went to bed very early. Are you coming to the games, Mac?
You couldn't keep me away.
Us. You couldn't keep us away.
Hey, Gov, can you show us now?
Alfie!
Oh, no, that's quite all right, really. I can show you. Mr.
Follinsby. Elf Follinsby.
Hello.
Gents Haberdasher, chipping cabinet. This is the Mrs. Flo.
Well, how do you do?
I don't suppose you've seen it.
It?
The monster.
Right.
Oh. Not yet.
You see, the best time to see it now, is in the gloaming down by the big rock. I can show you where it is now if you'd like.
Ah, would you?
Well, of course I would. See you later. Press on, troops.
Lovely. Well, you've seen it all now. The Highland Games every 2 years, and an occasional tourist trying to get a glimpse of the monster. That's about all that keeps this place alive.
Are you coming, Nell?
Uh-huh. Well, goodbye, Mac. Mrs. McMillan. Bye.
See you. English girls have such a lovely complexion.
Peaches and cream.
Charming girl. So gentle.
And such a liar. Well, their stories didn't exactly match on what they were doing last night.
Oh, Sally, they're engaged. How quickly one forgets.
You're right. We didn't always tell the truth when we were engaged.
Mm-hmm.
But we always told the same story.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Crofter's Cottage?
Right.
Right.
A widow named Annie Gray lives here. She leases the place for the shooting season. Round and back. Let's go this way.
Nine o'clock. Edge of the block.
Hello.
Howdy, friends. I'm Houston Gorman. I'm the tenant here, and this is Annie Gray, my pretty landlord. Oh, hello. Landlady. Say hey to the folks, Annie.
It's nice to see you again, Annie.
Good to see you, Mac.
I'm Stuart McMillan.
Commissioner, San Francisco Police. Proud to make your acquaintance, sir.
How do you do? This is
And
my
this
wife.
must be your beautiful wife. Sally, isn't it? Well, Sally, you welcome to Crofter's Cottage.
Thank you.
Come on over, you folks, and sit a spell.
Thank you.
Of course, we knew you were in town. I tell you, when you've been away from the good old U.S. of A. long as I have, why, you know it when folks from God's country land here. No offense, Annie. I tell you, sometimes I get so hungry for the sound of an American voice. Uh-oh. You got us, Commissioner. We are litter bugs. Annie and I sit down here a lot watching that castle yonder. You know, I'd try to buy it from your uncle. Hey, it's a shame about him. Fine gentleman.
Uncle Michael wouldn't sell.
Looks like it could reach right out and touch them stones, don't it? Those are mighty powerful binoculars. No, he wouldn't sell, but his grandson will.
Jamie. Are you sure?
Jamie's got expensive tastes.
And an expensive,
Fiancé?
you could call it that. Well, you know what these London girls are like.
Of course, we'll offer him a fair price. So I represent Globe Hotels, Inc. They want to run tours here. 7 glorious days and 6 terrific nights in a Scotch castle.
Scottish.
And you're determined to buy it for Globe Hotels, Inc.?
You just double bet I am. Oh, Commissioner. Are you asking, did I shoot him just because he wouldn't sell and Jamie will?
No. But let me ask you something. Well, you're an expert on rifles, huh?
I'm the best there is.
Would it be possible that the shot that killed my uncle could be fired from here?
No way. It is not only 2,000 yards across the valley with the updrafts and crosswinds, but it's got to go through a 4-inch slit without hitting a wall. Another problem I'd have is, how do I get the fellow to stand right still just inside the slit while I get the shot lined up?
That's a tough shot.
An impossible shot.
Well, somebody solved the problem. No offense.
None taken. He was your uncle. Well, hey, Commissioner, how about joining us for a little grouse hunting tomorrow?
Oh,
You know what a grouse is, don't you, Miss McMillan? That's a pigeon with a live wire ad agency. I tell you, Duncan's coming and Ramsey.
Oh, well, I'll try to make it.
Mac, grouse hunting, that's killing little birds.
Well, that's the idea. Is that a deal?
That's a deal. Oh. See you. So long, Annie.
Nice to see you again, Mac.
I think Uncle Michael would like me to go on this hunt.
Commissioner.
Yeah, Charlie. I'm sorry to disturb you, sir, but Mrs. McTaggart heard some noises downstairs. It sounds like digging to me.
Digging?
Digging?
What's this down here, sir?
This is the oldest part of the castle, as I remember it. They used to call it the keep.
The keep?
Uh-huh.
Oh, how lovely. Where they keep people.
Sure you want to come down here?
If you're down here, you sure ain't gonna find me up there.
It's locked.
Or stuck. We'll never know.
Upstairs. There's someone upstairs.
Not anymore. It was an outside door.
Well, wait for me!
Sorry, sir, he got away. I just can't seem to run on turf. I'm better on asphalt.
The guy was really moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's faster than last night. I wonder why.
Bird down.
Painting your boots blue?
Oh no, I got that painting the judges stand.
Maybe we should separate. Beat down this hill and across the valley. I'll do the left flank.
See you later, Mac.
What we have got to do, Mrs. McMillan, is be logical.
Logical. An old man climbs up here once a week to do the bookkeeping for a castle that can't even afford a gamekeeper. He puts a trivet under his teapot to protect the top of the desk. But the top of the desk is marble. It is not affected by heat. Life is not logical.
Maybe not, but I have a theory. Now, according to my theory, the killer was trapped inside the castle last night.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Witness. The body was here, the rifle here. That door was locked, the window too small to get out of.
Right.
Ballistics has proven that the rifle was the murder weapon, and the powder burns tell us that it was fired at a very close range. Suicide, right?
Right.
Because if it was murder, the murderer would have been trapped right inside this room. Unless
he disappeared through the walls.
that's my theory.
You're kidding.
No, I'm serious. I'm talking about a secret passageway.
You're kidding.
Now, you might have noticed the last time I was in here that I scraped mortar off various parts of the wall.
I was wondering what that was all about.
Well, this morning I went into the village and I talked the custodian into letting me into the school. And they have a science lab there with some carbon dating equipment. It's pretty primitive and physics really isn't my field, but I made some tests.
And?
The mortar in this section of the wall is 500 years old. Over here, 300 years old. But within the 300-year-old area, the mortar is much more modern.
How much more modern?
Well, I can't really be sure. Maybe 5 years. Maybe only a couple of days.
What are we waiting for?
Right.
What happened, Mac? Sounded like a firefight.
Are you all right, sir?
I'm in great shape for a man who's been shot at with a rifle.
Rifle? In a grouse area? Are you sure?
I know the sound of a rifle when I hear one, right?
Yeah, that was a rifle. Any deer on this spread?
Enough to attract more than a few hunters. Some of them are very careless.
Careless enough to fire 4 shots at me?
You're lucky you're not on your way to be stuffed and mounted.
Pretty good, not slow to go.
Yeah, well, let's see, that just about does it. Okay, here. Now let's
Push it.
see if... Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she works easy. Hey, it's just like a door.
It's open back there, Sergeant.
Okay, now,
It's a passageway.
let me see what's back there. You stay here.
Fat chance.
It's like being inside of a well.
It's like a room, sort of.
I don't see any way that a man could get out of here.
You realize who you found, of course.
Yes, the long-lost Fergus McCready, and we weren't even looking for him.
Now, it's my theory that the murderer came to this room sometime before your uncle. He opened this secret door, went into the chamber, closed the door behind him, and waited. At last, your uncle came up the stairs. He comes into the room, closes this door, and locking himself into the room. Then the murderer opened the secret door, crept out of the passage, and killed your uncle. Bang! I kill him. I hear the voices into the wall.
Well, it could work. It's possible.
Charlie,
Yeah.
would you mortar up the wall now, please? From the inside?
I guess he'd have to have long, thin fingers, wouldn't he?
Never mind, Charlie. Good try.
Well, my theory was good in the abstract. Just wasn't any good in the concrete.
Well, you know what my father always said. First, find your motive.
then you've got your murderer.
Everybody's got a motive. Jamie's the heir. Nell's got Jamie. Ramsey's a McCready, don't forget that. Houston wants to buy this place, and Annie Graham's got Houston. And Duncan quit because no one knows why. Anyone else?
Mrs. McTaggart. Well, I think she had a crush on the old man.
Unrequited love. Oh, I've had enough for the day. Let's call it quits.
Yeah, let's take a ride around the lot.
Good idea. Mac.
All right.
It doesn't ever get dark in this country.
That's the gloaming.
Well, I think it's just about the most romantic part of the day.
We like a lot of light.
You didn't used to mind it before we got married.
You think of that time in Candlestick Park?
No, I was thinking of that time in Emeryville in the drive-in movie at 3 in the afternoon. And you told me they had a show in the afternoon.
They did. For the man who came around to check the sound system.
Mac, look! Is that a monster? Is that a real monster?
Oh, yes, she is.
It's gone. Oh, look, tea and scones.
Oh, not for me, thanks. But it was something with enough power to move through the water, well, like a monster.
Could it have been towed by a boat?
No, there was nothing above the surface except those fins, and it was absolutely silent.
Sergeant, it was so quiet you could hear that little carousel over at the games grounds.
Oh, you know what they call that, sir? That is called a side skirt.
But the one you found didn't have one. Wonder why? You know, I've seen something like this somewhere. Not as part of the armor, but separate, used for something. If your Aunt Eleanor gave you one for Christmas...
She wouldn't, darling. She's into modern.
Well, if she did, what would you do with it?
Well, I'd give it to Aunt Louise. Her birthday's in January. She loves useless things.
Part of Fergus' armor missing. That is strange. Perhaps it was stolen. Did you not say there was a break-in recently?
Within the past 5 years, according to Enright.
And now,
But why steal just part of the armor?
Mac.
and here he is to play the tune that caught the judge's ears. Up with the bonnets of Bonnie Dundee by this year's winner, Thomas Sinclair of Glenabbin.
Sinclair? But I thought Duncan was...
Duncan! It was a certainty.
Didn't make the finals. Short of breath he was.
Duncan!
Hi, Mac. You're still taking the high road.
In Scotland.
Let's take a walk.
Good idea.
Oh, Enright.
Excuse me, Commissioner, but there's a fly casting competition over there. I don't want to miss it.
I hope you catch a nice fish.
Bye, Sergeant.
doing very well, Jamie.
Yes, isn't it?
Is that the stand you painted yesterday?
Oh, yes, yes. I did a very good job, too, I think.
No,
huh?
no. There's blue paint on your boot. The stand's green.
Oh, well, I must have got that someplace else. Hey, McDougal!
Mac Nell says they're selling some terrific tweeds. You want to go over and look at them?
Huh?
You want to go over and look at them?
Two horses on that carousel. I'm just a nut for carousels. I'll see you later.
He'll do anything to get out of shopping. Come on.
Hi, Mac.
What is that? It's paper tossing. Well, it looks like he's throwing a telephone pole or a tree. Well, as Mildred would say, it'll never replace the roller derby. Watch out! Yeah.
Sally, are you all right?
You know, in our country, we try to keep to the left.
Ah, very good, Miss McTavish. You're really getting the hang of it.
Tell me more.
Boy, was I lucky. You're saving me from that caber tossing.
Look at Enright. You're not the only one.
Hey, what's the matter with you, Bobby? You gone daft?
Bobby.
Why, thank you, Bobby. I can use all the compliments I can get. Come on, Mac, hurry up. I'm dying for a peek.
You should learn the value of anticipation, lass.
There's a wee duck in Doris, just a wee drop, that's all. There's a wee duck in Doris, before we gang aboard. There's a wee wifey waiting in a wee button bend.
Hello, is my husband in there?
There's a wee duck in Doris, before we gang aboard. There's a wee wifey waiting in a wee button bend. If you can say it's Bob Rick's moonlit next, you're all right, you can.
You look fabulous. Turn around. I want to see if your hem is straight.
This is one drafty castle, you know that?
Would you like to borrow some pantyhose?
Would you like the back of me hand?
You look great.
Is my sporran right? It's supposed to be hanging in the center.
Oh, the little purse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a little lipstick in there. For me.
You know, I think Bobby prefers me as a Scotsman.
Keep your knees together, darling. I know what Bobby doesn't like. Did you see the way he was barking at Ramsey? And I've seen him barking like crazy at Duncan, the gamekeeper.
Oh, Sally, stop waiting for Bobby to solve my uncle's murder. Dogs bark. They also wag their tails. I've seen him do both at Duncan and at Ramsey, among others.
You decent?
Come on in, Mildred.
You call that decent? Go put some pants on.
We've been through that already, Mildred. What's up?
What time is this shindig?
In an hour, and it's not a shindig. It's the traditional turning over of the castle to the new laird, Jamie.
Well, the Great Hall is filling with Scotsmen, and Mrs. McTaggart is already passing out the booze.
Then what are you doing up here?
Aren't you amusing?
Tut.
Mrs. McT has never heard of drink coasters. By the time Jamie moves in, there are going to be rings all over that good furniture.
Oh, all that good mahogany. Those old-time lairds should have put their armor on their tabletops instead of on their warriors. You'll work it out, Mildred.
Yeah, well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Sally. Would you find Enright and meet me up in the tower?
Darling, what about the ceremony?
Oh, this time.
Mac?
Huh?
There's something that I've always wanted to know.
What?
What does a Scotsman wear under his kilt?
Later.
Mac?
Sir? Guests are arriving.
Just solved a crime. A crime that happened 300 years ago. Fergus McCready. And you put me onto it, Sally.
Of course I did. I did.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back 300 years. Remember the legend. The McMillan walled up Fergus McCready because he found him hiding in the castle the night before a battle. Figured him out to be a coward.
But he was really a thief.
Fergus came back to the castle, dug up the treasure, reburied it someplace else. The secret died in the wall with him. That's why the treasure disappeared.
I put you on to all of that?
Sure. Remember the other day when you wondered why anybody would need a trivet to protect a marble tabletop?
You weren't even there.
Oh, well, I showed it to him. I know you said it wasn't logical, but it seemed logical to me, so I...
The missing piece from Fergus's armor.
Well, how did that get in here?
Uncle Michael. Sometime in the last years, remember the new mortar? Uncle Michael found Fergus. Understood what this meant. Used it as a trivet so he could keep it around.
But why?
Fergus scratched the location of the treasure on it.
Well, why wouldn't Uncle Michael just dig up the treasure?
Well, Jamie, I would think. You can't get rid of a castle in a day, but you certainly can a treasure. And Jamie, being the spendthrift that he was, Uncle Michael wanted to wait and make sure that Jamie was mature enough.
Mac, this doesn't look like the map to a treasure. It says BQ3.
That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't it?
Mm-mm.
Follow me. When we were down here before, it occurred to me that this floor looks like a chessboard.
Chess? I still don't get it.
Well, Sergeant, each chess square has a name, so you can write the game down. For example, BQ3 would be Black's Queen's third.
The only problem is there are more squares down here than there are on a chessboard, and furthermore, I can't tell which wall's Black's. Now, our digger has already done some testing. I'll bet we can catch him here red-handed tonight.
Suppose he doesn't dig tonight.
Tonight's his last chance. Jamie moves in tomorrow. Besides, he already learned that he can be heard upstairs.
Tonight there'll be a dance band and pipers.
Fire a cannon down here, it'd never be heard upstairs. So, Enright, you and I'll have to wait for him.
Mac, you can't.
Why not?
You're a big part of the ceremony tonight.
I can handle the surveillance, sir. Well, it's dark down here. I have the advantage of surprise. Besides, it's too damp down here for skirts.
All right, Charlie, but be careful. Remember, one of those people upstairs is a murderer.
Good night, Sergeant.
Good night.
What a way to spend an evening.
What a grand party.
Well, Mac, you wear the tartan very well.
Well, thank you.
Oh, he just puts it on and lets it sell itself.
Now.
Want to dance?
Yes, let's.
Ooh, I should warn you about the castle tradition. Never a first dance under this roof between a husband and wife.
Far be it for me to go against a castle tradition. If you'll excuse me.
She just made that up. Would you care for a fling?
Beg pardon?
Would you care for a fling?
Oh, you don't fling to this music, only the pipes. But I'd be honored to lead you in a foxtrot. George Macduff.
Sally McMillan. Lead on, Macduff. You know what they say about he who cries enough. You've heard that before.
Many times. Many, many times.
I see Nell is stuck with some big cloud.
Isn't he your husband?
So you're right. I never recognize him when he's dancing with someone else.
Thank you very much, Mrs. McMillan.
Oh, you're very welcome.
May I fetch you something to wet your whistle?
Oh, that'd be nice.
I'll be right back. Meet me by the black wall.
Mrs. McTaggart. Mrs. McTaggart, is there a black wall anywhere about? They all look sort of beige to me.
The black wall, you said? That's not color. It's from chess. The north wall.
Well, what makes the north wall black?
The McMillan who built this place was a hound for chess. Wouldn't he play with the morning sun in his eyes? And always played white. So the south wall of every room is known as the white wall.
Does that mean that the north wall of the keep would...
Wrong, missus. Too many squares for chess in that chamber. It's across from the keep. That's the old chess room.
Thank you, Mrs. McTaggart. You've been very helpful. Man.
Quiet! You cannot interrupt the ceremony.
I'm sorry.
Try a bit of the salmon, love.
Maybe later, Mrs. McTaggart. Thank you. Sergeant. Sergeant. Sergeant Enright. Charlie? Charlie, it's me, Mrs. McMillan. It's okay, it's me. You're looking in the wrong room. It's across the hall. Sergeant, it's the room across the hall, and the north wall is the black wall.
Thanks to the missus, I know where to dig.
Sorry, Sergeant.
I'll take that. Come on. It's rightfully mine. Aye. McCready died for it and wrote the clue to find it. Aye, I'm a McCready. I thank you to turn round, Sergeant.
The scepter of the McMillan, strong and straight. All here bear witness that you accept it willingly, with all encumbrances thereto. The last man who carried it with great honor. I wish it and the family name the same good fortune in your hands.
Those present are bound to inform all those in their ken in these mountains that Jamie McMillan is the true and only possessor of all properties, honors, titles, and licenses pertaining to the Laird of Kinross. And henceforth, he shall be known as the McMillan. Up the McMillan.
Grabs you, don't it? I get that same funny chill like when they picked Miss America. It's a great show for the hotel.
Excuse me, have you seen my wife?
No.
You can let me go now. You don't need a hostage. They can't catch you now. You didn't quit your job. You got fired when Uncle Michael found you digging for the treasure, right?
You're a smart lass. Now be quiet. I've some hard driving to do.
Any idea where he was heading?
Well, sir, when I came to, I looked out the window and I saw a car going down the lock road very fast.
There's a chance. We could cross it a lot faster than Duncan could go around it. Come on.
Ah, there aren't any boats.
How'd you know it was Duncan?
He lost the piping contest. Why did he lose? Because he was out of breath.
Oh, he couldn't resist the chance today while the castle was empty.
Raced back to the games, met his accomplice.
Accomplice?
Jamie.
What?
Jamie.
What is it? Excuse me.
I need it. You're going to run it for me.
It?
The Lochmoran monster.
Oh, come on now. You don't really believe there is such a...
Rope burns on your hands, blue paint on your shoes from the carousel, mud from near the lock. And I heard the music when I saw the monster.
I don't know anything about
I haven't
that.
got time to argue with you. You're going to run the monster now.
The village needs a monster in order to survive.
What about my wife surviving? Come on. I can cut across the lake a lot faster than they can drive around.
Brother Ben?
You could have killed me.
I can make that kibber sit up and play any lorry. I was only throwing you a scare.
And it was you that shot at Mac when he was on the grouse hunt.
Quiet. All we've done is scare folks so far.
Drive faster, Duncan.
There's none from the castle can catch us now.
Oh! Water is like ice.
Give Jamie the signal.
If you fall off of this thing, you'll freeze or drown or both.
Give Jamie the signal.
Yes, sir.
We're leaving now, Flo. I've got to be back at the shop Monday morning. So to hell with the bloomin' monster what's too shy to show himself.
It's all a fake, anyhow.
Flo, the lake.
Hey?
Do you see?
Oh, it's a bloomin' Scot. They'll never believe this in Wormsley Park.
Is gold, Flo?
What's that?
I'll move it.
Hey, Ben. Ben. Ben? Hey, Ben. Ben?
How did you get here?
If I told you, you wouldn't believe it. The McMillan treasure.
Yeah, I'm touched. Yeah, and my friends all hope there will be enough here, so they won't be touched for a while. So, thank you, Duncan, for saving me the digging. If my Latin is reliable, these shares assure us of handsome dividends from all those people traveling the Northwest Passage to India. Yeah, through 1819.
There's more in there, Jamie.
Oh, look. It's a necklace. Yeah, modest but lovely. To be worn by the mistress of Castle Kinross.
Hey, you're selling this place to me.
As they say in your country, sir, no way.
Now, just a minute.
Up the McMillan.
It's a happy conclusion for you, McMillans. And as soon as we prepared a legal case against these two for the murder of the laird, you'll get your just revenge.
We ne'er killed the old man. Took his treasure, aye. But we're nae murderers.
I suspect they're right, Mr. Ramsey. A murderer would have dealt more harshly with my wife and Charles Enright. There's no real link between the treasure and my uncle's death. I'd like to propose a toast. Michael McMillan was more than a father to me. It was a rare privilege to know him. And I've not been able to prove, as I'd hoped, that he was murdered. But I would like to propose a toast to this man whose noble life cannot be diminished by the events of a single day. To the late laird, whose death, whose suicide, I will not accept, because it's simply unacceptable. To the late laird.
Come on, Bobby, stay down or I'll never get this fly tied. Well, so I just thought that since the case is solved that, Miss McTavish has taken me to a secret place she knows where we can get in some good night fishing.
Just a second. May I? That's it. May I ask you all, Ramsey, Jamie, Houston, join me in the tower room in about 10 minutes? Come on, Bobby. Come on.
Come on, Bobby.
Thank you for your patience. I am happy to tell you that sometimes the unacceptable is also the untrue. Uncle Michael did not commit suicide. He was murdered, and in front of a witness. The witness, as my wife was the first to sense, was a dog, Bobby, and he's already testified 3 times. First, by barking at you, Duncan. Then at you, Mr. Ramsey. Then at Charles Enright. Or so we thought. Actually, he was barking at a fishhook. I'll show you why. Our murderer took a fishhook and line, which is almost invisible, attached it to a trigger of a preloaded gun before Uncle Michael came into the room, wrapped it around the butt of the rifle, out through the window, threw it up to the parapet above. Then he went up there and waited. Uncle Michael walked to the window, probably when he heard the sound of my voice from the driveway.
Uncle Michael! Uncle Michael!
One yank to pull the trigger. Second yank, much stronger, to pull the gun off its mounting. Bobby got nicked the first time, trying to capture that instrument that killed his master. Good boy.
But this is all pure speculation.
No, the line left marks at the top of the slit. And my wife and I saw the murderer.
We did?
Late that night. He had to wait till dark to make his escape.
Mac, why would he come back the following night?
He didn't. Remember that first night we saw a man running? Mm-hmm. Then the second night we saw a man running, only faster? Mm-hmm. Which puzzled me, because a man escaping always runs at his own top speed, which means that there had to be 2 men, one each night.
It was me the second time.
Yeah, you were down in the cellar digging. And the first night it was the murderer who waited up on that roof until Uncle Michael could walk to the window.
But, Mac, how would he know when to pull the trigger if he's up on the roof?
Yes, of course. He couldn't see anything from there. Well, you could guess at it, I suppose.
Bad luck, Mac. It was a doozy of a theory while it lasted.
He's right. No way to know if the laird was in his sight.
Right. But what if there were 2 of them? The murderer up on the roof, and someone out there to signal him when to fire.
Where out there? There's no place with a clear view and cover?
Yes, there is. The Crofter's cottage. Mrs. Gray's place.
Well, but it's too far to fire.
Not too far away to observe. Through mighty powerful binoculars. What was your signal to Houston, Mrs. Gray? Everyone knew that Uncle Michael would never sell this place. But you knew that Jamie would. You had to sell this place to Globe Hotels, didn't you? Living off expenses you'd never earned. Wasn't that it? What were you thinking of, Mrs. Gray, when you stood there and watched the tower, smoked all your cigarettes and waited? Didn't you ever wonder how you could let this con man talk you into killing a laird?
Don't answer him, Annie. It's a trick.
What was your signal, Mrs. Gray? Did you raise an umbrella?
I lowered it. God help me, I lowered it.
Everybody stand right there. I'm really very good with this.
Thank you, Sergeant. You can go fishing now.
Thanks for everything, Mac.
We're really grateful.
You know, it's not going to be the same around here without you. Very, very quiet. The next Healing Games are not for 2 years.
I think the village will get by. I somehow have the feeling that the monster may appear again. Come on, Bobby.
They die hard, monsters.
Of course, Bobby goes with the castle, but if you ever get tired of him, San Francisco can always use another good detective.
We seen him, we did, as plain as radio day.
Yeah.
The Flying Scotchy is, according to the new laird hereabouts, gone forth from his castle to recover his stolen treasure.
We have to get by.
Well, when's the best time to see him?
Any time in the gloaming.
We'll show you the best watching spots.
But you've got to have patience, mind.
And an eye moves light as a breeze through ever. Tall he is, 8 feet all, I'd say.
A remarkable story.
And devilish handsome he is.
And somehow has the ring of truth.